Well, hello, everybody, and this is Auntie. Let's do our review of 90 Day Fiancé, Season 12, Episode 9 Actions Speak Louder Than Words. Let's get into it, shall we? Oh, yes, we shall. A sweet old auntie. Thank you, subscribers, and my consistent reviews. All the y'all who have been here through the long haul. Shall we get into it? Oh, yes, we shall. It's time for Auntie to rise. It's time for Auntie to rise. It's time for Auntie to Well, welcome back, everybody, and this is Auntie. Yeah, I'm back, and so are you. Thank you so much for being here. Let's get into this review, shall we? If I had to rate this episode on a scale of, well, no, I'll wait to the end to give my rating of this episode. Hold on, let me put my glasses on. Hoping everybody had a great day. And that you celebrated your fourth and you were safe, you were fed, you had your fireworks, and all that jazz. Okay, so let me bring up this host of characters. Let's see where they are. Do I even have them, y'all? Yes, I do. Thomas and Paula, again this week. I am not covering them. Um, I know some people have asked me, Auntie, why aren't you covering them? I don't find them interesting. And yeah, I don't find them interesting. I did see where she was again threatening to go back to Brazil, and he had a conversation with her and she changed her mind. I saw that they skedaddled on somebody's farm. But unfortunately, that's all I saw. So anyway, let's move on. The next couple that I want to talk about is Aisha and Maxwell. Now, Asia, so I don't know about you all, right? And I'm just gonna go head on and put it out there in the street. For me, when I do reviews of these shows, and I have probably mentioned it before, and I'm gonna mention it again, I listen to the words that people are saying. I watch tone and manner, and I do the same thing in my real life. I watch everything. Um, I'm my own little detective, if you will, when it comes down to people, their authenticity, whether or not they're genuine or not. I am always trying to assess motives when I meet people, and that is probably because I am very protective of not only myself but other people. I am a lioness. I'm a Leo. And so that just comes, I think, with my zodiac sign. If you a Leo, let me know. But I am, I approach everything just kind of different. And I protect my space and my mind. I sat there and I watched this episode, right? I watch body language, I watch everything. Maxwell has flipped on Asia. And I think that I mentioned it last week, and I know a lot of people don't um agree with that, right? They think that, the man is right in his situation, and I don't. I listen very carefully to the words that she has used, and how, she even came to him with the bullshit, okay, and let him know, you flipping on me. And so someone did a reel, and I believe it was him. He did a reel on TikTok of his mother. And I was like, yeah, she nasty. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Y'all please give me an opportunity to see if I can find this real quick. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, so hold on. Just 1 second. Trying to find the volume so this thing does not play. Hold on, y'all. I want y'all to see this real quick, if I can find it. Here it is right here. Just 1 second. Let me get the volume out. Now, this is what Maxwell looks like. He's live right now. But this is what Maxwell, hold on. This is what Maxwell put on his own own TikTok. This is his TikTok, not Asia's, not Asia's family members, not Asia's friends. Let me show you what he put on his own TikTok. That's the representation he got out there on his own TikTok about his own mother. I'm hoping y'all saw it. Raydella, let me know. Is Raydella out there? Raydella, were you able to see that TikTok? Is Raydella here? Were y'all able to see that TikTok? Give me a thumbs up if you were able to see the TikTok so I can move on. Thank you, Tamika. He put that out there of his own mother. The facial expressions that his mother was making throughout the time that she has been on the show. The mother has come off with a self righteous, pious type of attitude. She appears to be very nasty, and this is who he is turning into. She told him that the two of them went out to dinner. He sits down at the dinner table and tells her he didn't like the fact that she yanked her hand from him. And he didn't want her to do that. And so she was like, I felt like that's what I needed to do. You got on my nerve real bad. She tried to say it, with a little kiki ha ha behind it. And that was not acceptable for him. And so he asked her, if I did that to you, how would you feel about it? And she was like, it's okay. If that's how you feel, you don't want to have that connection with me. Okay. Okay. Do what you got to do. I ain't going to be mad at you about it. She is trying to talk to him about him switching up. She said, this is my third time being here, and now all of a sudden we have this. Now, Remember last week I told y'all he lives in the red district where they can't even film. So they had to get another space so that all of them could be together because the neighborhood that he lives in, they can't film there. Okay? So let's get a little background from where this mofo coming from. Moreover, when they went to the restaurant in his town in Africa, she said, I have the reservation under my name. And the first thing that I'm thinking as a woman, a single woman, is why isn't the reservation under his? This is his hometown. This is where he lives. Why is she making the reservations? Moreover, she probably the one that's swiping the card. Hey, Tamika, she's probably the one swiping the card. He sits in a van last episode and indicates, right, that he doesn't know whether or not God did this or not. Is she sure? Maybe it was meant for the visa to be canceled. Well, mother, you should have thought about that before I came. You should have said that before I came. But no, he wants to show his butt. Again, I don't know if this is production that is telling him we need a little bit of fight. Y'all relationship is too perfect and we need you to give something, but I'm not impressed. And in my opinion, it plays into the narrative that he is a Nigerian man or a man from Africa who wants to come to the United States of America, marry her long enough to get his little green card, and then dump her like Michael did Angela. Do the long suffering thing. I'm a long suffer with you in order to get myself in America. And then after that, I'm going to drop you like a hot pancake. Now, a lot of people came to love Michael because they felt like what Michael was going through with Angela was unfair, right? A lot of people thought that. I didn't. I did not. Michael, I thought, had a scheme when he went into Angela's DM from the giddy up. Mm-hmm. 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 I wasn't one of those people who was endearing to Michael. And neither am I one of those people who is endearing to him. I think that Maxwell got a plan. And I think that when she told him, this is not the man that you have been, I don't know why you're testing the waters with me, but I'm going to get up from the table because when she began to talk, he told her she was raising her voice. She was not raising her voice. She told him to hush. And I'm sure, given her personality, since people want to label her as the angry black woman, because I ain't going. I'm not going. But let's just keep moving. When she told him to hush, now she's disrespectful. But you didn't think telling her that she was yelling because she wasn't talking loud. Was she articulating what she had to say? Absolutely, she was, but she wasn't loud. She wasn't boisterous. She wasn't banging on the table. She wasn't screaming at the top of her lungs. No one in the restaurant turned their head. So where was she? Where was she screaming? Where was she yelling? And my whole thing is, why would you play into this narrative when your mother never had a smile on her face, not a nary time, and you put it out on your own TikTok page to prove that your mother nasty? That's my opinion about it. So she goes to the bathroom, she gives him some time, she comes back, and she lays the hammer down. He wants to play this game as rough and tough, and that he is in charge, large and in charge. And when she told him flat out, look, let me tell you something. We ain't got to do this. We don't have to do this. If you have 1 ounce in you that is confused and doesn't think that we should go through this marriage, then you let me know. He said, "Are you serious?" She said, "Yeah." Basically, yes, I am. I'm serious about it. He said, "You would do that?" She said, "Yeah." All the wind, all the BS went up out of him because now he was fighting for his life. You could see the color go up out of his ugly, bumpy ass. Okay, Auntie, pull back, pull back. You could see the life come out that mother. And now all of a sudden he backpedaling. Now he wants to sit and talk reasonable about the visa. From what I understand, they got married in November of 2025. I will have to verify that. But I believe that I saw something that said that they were married in 2025. Moreover, she has a store, a restaurant that is open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and their picture is up on the wall. And so I figured that they're either married or he is already here in the States. But when she backed him up and told him, if you don't want to do this, we can go on. I ain't gonna want to do it, but I can go and get mama and pack mama up and we'll be up out of here. All that toughness, all of that I need respect, all of that you disrespected. Let me tell you something. If this girl disrespected his mother and his parents in the way that he is trying to project on his show, then they wouldn't have been on her third visit. So the two of them decide that they're going to go to the go and get married. And so they've got plans. But I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna tell you right now. Asia, if you ever see this video, way to handle your business. Now that ain't to say he legit, because I want to see y'all in another 2 or 3 years. But Asia, he ain't the one. He ain't never been the one. He ain't gonna be the one. I don't know why we have not seen them in a couple of weeks. I guess maybe they got a little bit of footage. I don't know, but we have not seen them in a couple of weeks, and I've been wanting to see what their relationship is about. The next couple that I want to talk about is Catie and Joseph. Oh my God. So it's the morning after, and she has shown her complete natural behind. And it is now doomsday where she has to have a conversation. She comes out there looking like straight trash. And she wants to talk to him about what she did because she was so inebriated that she didn't even remember. I mean, I'm talking about just blackout wasted. Like on people inappropriately and everything else. Don't even remember what happened to her. And so now, he has to bring her to attention. And he was very kind and nice with her. He was nicer than I would have been because at that point, I would have had my bags packed. But I understand that these people, either they have, here's what I have the conclusion I have come to over my, I guess, 9, 10 years of doing this, A1 Day One. Either these people come over here because they have a reason for being here in America and they're not really serious about the relationship. And so they take what they can and they know all the rules. They know all the immigration laws and all that. They know the time periods. I think they got secret calendars where they would check where they X out each day as they near it. And then they just do what they got to do, act as, get a divorce, whatever. And then I think that there are those who genuinely love these people. Sacrifice, not give up, but sacrifice their comfortability in their own country and they come here for their love and they get disappointed or treated poorly or whatever and then they divorce. And then there's some people who come here who they genuinely love one another and they make a happy life here in America. I think that he is number one. I think that he has made a decision to come here. And I think that his decision is based on opportunity and not on love. Because a man who loves a woman would correct her and correct her in love. I ain't talking about putting his hands on her. I'm not talking about a bad mouth of her or disrespecting her. I'm just saying I need you to level up to what I'm used to. This girl is embarrassing. He has to sit there, and he was very kind about it because he didn't tell her all the details unless they cut it. When she asked him what happened, and he told her, that she was trying to, inappropriately kiss. He, from my recollection, he only said one person, but she was doing that to everybody that she could kiss. She tells him, I believe that I can love you and still want to kiss everybody. But the thing is, though, baby love, is you want to kiss everybody but him, Catie. Catie, you don't want to kiss nobody else. Nobody else you want to kiss. If you drunk and inebriated, why ain't you being with him? Why don't you want to kiss him? And how can you be in love with someone and think that it's all right to kiss everybody else? The thing about it was premeditated before. Again, it was premeditated that she was going to do that. She already knew. All she needed was a liquid courage. When she was in the car with him, she said, let's have a kissing competition. So now, when he tells her how she acted, being soft, because he only told 10% of her behavior, now she's worried about whether or not her friends are going to abandon her. I said, you can't make this. Okay. Oh my goodness. Wait a minute. Let me go up here. Hi, Steph No Chaser. Thank you for becoming a member. Welcome to the family. Welcome, Steph No Chaser. Everybody, please welcome Steph No Chaser to the membership. Steph, it's not a lot of updated stuff on there, but I'm coming back. I'm coming back. Okay. So, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So now she has that on her because she feels like, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, y'all. Thank you so much for welcoming staff. Thank y'all. Hey, Red Drummer Gal. She's trash. I saw her on TikTok with her mother trying to explain her behavior. And when I looked at her, her mother had those same eyes that's looking at you, but ain't looking at you. So her behavior has been pacified and made to be okay. When she brought up the fact that she wanted him she was wondering whether or not her friends was going to hang with her, he said, let's concentrate on us. He was like, that was really hard. But again, as I said, he really did not give it to her like he should have gave it to her. And so he's going to get what he gets. But at the end of the day, she going to get what she get to. Watch and see. The next couple that I want to talk about, and some people did not like, okay, come on. Some people did not like me talking about Anabelle. They didn't think too fondly of Auntie digging in Annabelle's butt. But Annabelle can get it too. Annabelle can get it too. Because see, when you run around and you're trying to find out information, you're gonna find out. So on this week, we see this week's episode, we see Shea actually going to the dump with Nicole's things because he has been forced to make an action. He's been forced to do what he said he was going to do. And so I guess whatever Nicole wasn't able to get, whatever, um, he took it to the dump. He comes back and Annabelle gives him an ultimatum and tell him he can never talk to the woman again. Cut her off. Shay said, hold on. I ain't gonna be able to do that because that's my child's mother. You're gonna have to believe that there's nothing going on with Nicole and I. Now, I don't know if they're waiting to the end of the season to give us a cliffhanger with those women or Shay and Nicole or whatever having an altercation. I'm just waiting on it. I'm sure y'all probably waiting like I am. Where's the altercation? Because I'm ready for it. But it is Shay's birthday. And so, they're going to be having a party. She wants him to stop drinking, although she knew for 5 years that he was drinking heavily, that he's been partying. One thing that I've noticed about Shay is very wealthy. Shay has 3 properties so far that we've seen. The one he lives in, the one his daughter lives in, and now we got a beachfront home. And while they are not decorated with the best of the best, real estate is wealth. And I was like, Annabelle, if you don't want them, I'll deal with Shay. I'll deal with all Shay's bullshit. I'll deal with all of it. So she goes down to the property, she gets her little clothes on and stuff like that. And she, they go down there and they start fixing up and everything. And then here comes Allison. Allison comes in and, she's helping out a little bit. And Shay has a conversation with her and basically tells her, you trying to jeopardize and up the bag for me. I love Anabelle. And, you need to just kind of, stand down. She says, well, you have a responsibility basically to tell it yourself, to let him tell her himself in his own time. And the thing about it is a lot going to tell on itself. Anabelle will find out soon enough what kind of person Shay is. She's going to find out. The women are going to come out the woodwork if it's meant for him to be exposed. But to be exposed by somebody who is putting a roof over somebody's head, like that ain't cool at all. And the daughter is not doing it, as I said before, because she likes Annabelle. She's doing it because she's angry and disappointed with her father. This is why she is doing it. And I'm just like, okay, I mean, you do you, but don't do your daddy. And so Annabelle, is meeting the friends and all of that kind of stuff. They come over and they give her like some kind of little drink and everything. And everybody likes her. They're fascinated with him not only being on the show, but finally bringing this woman that he has been dating from the Philippines there. And she takes a shot. And matter of fact, she takes 2 of them. And they're having a good time. And Shay, being the man that he is over there flirting with the little young girl, telling her if I was 21 years old, you wouldn't even be here. He just, I'm not saying Shay is right, because I think it's disgusting that he would be having these conversations with these young girls. But he is just one of those type of people, I think, that just don't know boundaries, don't know what to say out of his mouth, gets that alcohol in him, right? And he's almost like Catie, forgets where he is and who he's talking to. But Annabelle is going to accept this man the way he is, and she ain't going home. So for those of you all who are angry or were irritated, you weren't angry with me, but you was a little irritated. No, one lady was like, why you going to come out after Annabelle? Because I want to. Because if you keep coming out your mouth, I'm going to go back home. I ain't going to stay here. Let's go. Let's hop along. Let's do what you got to do. Don't nobody want to hear that. Anabelle said this episode that she got 2 houses that she can be in with Shea. She showed a picture of where she was staying at, and it looked like it was 100 people. No, it wasn't 100 people, but about 20 people in the picture that she's living with. Anabelle's on the come up. Does that mean that I believe that Anabelle should accept him any kind of way? No. That means that Anabelle knows who he is. She's been dating him for 5 years. He is not like Catie. He's not forcing himself on anybody. He's not doing all of that. But then, see, we'll give a reprieve to Catie. We'll say, oh, she just drunk. Oh, she just this. No. Imagine if Shea was doing it, which is what I saw last week. If the shoes was on the other foot. It would be a different conversation. I think that she gets a kick out of him. I think that when he went to the Philippines with that good wine, that good rice wine, that she enjoyed every bit of who Shea was. I think that she's fully aware. I think that she's a good actress because she act like she really do care and she don't. Last but not least, so the word on the curb is that Miss Marissa don't work at Kleinfield's anymore. Here's what the rumors are. These have not been validated. These are just rumors. This is not factual or actual unless it's factual or actual. But the word on the curb is that she was released from Kleinfeld's because of her inappropriateness while filming the show, talking about his that. So I believe that they said she has opened up another shop. And I don't know what business it is, but from the word and the rumors that are out there on the street, she is no longer with Kleinfeld's. Now I don't know if it was just a coincidence, if the timing was just a coincidence, if she already had this business. I mean, I haven't gone back to see the date of establishment or anything like that to see if it, connects. I'm just telling y'all what the rumors are. They have not been validated. They are just what I see. They are rumors. So she is now with him in New York. She sits on this episode. And when I say almost brought me to tears, she almost brought me to tears with the way that she treated Edward and the words that she said to Edward. Edward can't win from losing. It's just the emasculating for me. It's just you're down here and I'm up here. And my heart sank for him because nobody, whatever your occupation is, your nationality, your race, your color, your creed, your sexual orientation, deserve to be treated beneath anybody. I don't care where you came from and what you did before you got here. Even with all the bull crap that's going on in the division that we have, this is America, where you can dream to be whatever you want to be. And if you work hard enough and make the right connections, you can be, do, and have anything you want. And here's this man who was left, I believe, the DR, y'all? And the only thing that I have heard from her, in my opinion, is her emasculate this man. She takes him to her condo that she has in New York and shows him around. Now, remember, y'all, last episode, she was in the car kind of getting on him for leaving his money. This episode, he says that there's money in her purse. She says it's not. He said it's in the purse. She said, I can't find it. I've only looked 6 times. He goes into the purse and pulls it right up. But prior to that, they were at dinner. And of course, the reservations were under her name. She walks in with her little hottie on her arm. Because I think that, in my opinion, she appears to be one of those people who like the public, I'm trying to keep myself together so I don't just cuss through the rest of this. So bear with me. She walks in the restaurant. She sits down with them. They're doing fine dining. This is probably the dining that he was doing when she would come to the DR. He would be able to take his uniform off for a little bit and dine with her, maybe. And she sits there and tells him that he just ain't being man enough for her. And he's telling her, all I need is some time. She said, you came here without a plan. You didn't have your stuff together. What was he supposed to have together? You had already provided the place for him to live in. You brought him to your home. If you wanted to have a man who showed that he could be independent, you should have got him to come here to the America on a K1 visa and then have him or have him come and stay a couple of weeks. But no, you brought him over here like a piece of luggage where he's sitting in your house and having to abide by your rules. You say that he doesn't take the initiative and that he's basically not man enough for you. But when he went out there and did something with that old raggedy ass fence that you had, you scolded him for that, and that wasn't good enough. Although we could clearly see from the pictures that I showed that the fence was already in disrepair. He appears to have tried to step in every opportunity that he's had. He came over there with nothing but living in your neighborhood, out in Pennsylvania, I believe. He's stuck. But you say that he's basically not man enough for you. When she said, he said, I think that I could be successful if I just get some time. She said, I ain't never seen you be successful at nothing. All the years and days that I've known you, I've never seen you successfully do anything. Y'all, when I tell you that broke my heart, because you could see the egg go out of him without seeing the egg go out of him. You could see, he said the number one thing that a man wants is respect out of it. He said from DR men. And I want to correct you, Edward. It's men everywhere. On this channel, I have said over the last 10 years that I've been out here that a man wants respect from his woman more than he wants her love. Women who are in successful relationships with men respect them in and out of the public eye. He will never ever forget, even if they marry, how he felt when she disrespected him. He will never forget it. And this isn't the first time she's disrespected him. This is just where he feels completely emasculated. He's saying, all I need is time. Well, you don't have no time. You didn't even make a plan. You didn't have anything. So what were the plans you made? If you wanted to see if he could do it, bring him over here on the trial run. And then the next day, after she's and then the next day she's talking about makeup sex. He's laughing it off. He's giggling and he's playing a game. Because I truly believe once he marries her, he's going to wait until everything is everything. And he's going to leave her. I think she's nasty work. She already did that with her previous husband. And now she has this young man over here that is good for makeup sex. Oh, she enjoyed that. Oh, she wanted to talk about that. She wanted to celebrate that. She also wanted to make sure that she took him down to the girls so the girls could feel his muscles and fawn over his curly hair and his suntan skin. But they don't know what he's going through inside of the home, how he's being spoken to in front of a camera. But he's a good specimen of a man to show to her friends and her coworkers. She tells him, I got to tell you how to maneuver the New York streets. He said, man, there's so many Dominicans. He said, so many Dominicans out here. I'm good. Though, just the thought of him being away from her is exciting for him. And I don't believe I've said this maybe about one or two times since I've been covering 90 Day. I hope he gets free. And I hope he is free to live the life that he wants for himself. Because to sit there on national television and be emasculated by this woman, and y'all, these are my opinions. Yours may be different. Put it in the chat. But it's just looking at the way that she treats him, it's nauseating to me. Because she sat there and said, I don't want to come off as mean and nasty to you. And he gave her an out. So anytime you have to sit there and cry about how you're talking to someone, you know you wrong, in my opinion. You know you wrong. Because it take an extra kind of nasty to emasculate somebody straight to their face. And if you look at the thumbnail that I used, that was her legitimate face while talking to him. She like, and he like, it doesn't feel good to me to watch them. It just does not feel good to me. Mallory get the prenup. In this episode, we saw Mallory and Rasit. Rasit was celebrating the $25 attachment to the toilet that created a bidet for him in the toilet. They did not get, wait a minute, they did not use, as he requested, her insurance money from almost dying in a car accident. She ordered a $25 one off of Amazon, hooked it up to the toilet, and it works perfectly for him. Because if you remember, he suggested that she use that money. She kindly told him that money is set aside. It is making more money, and I'm good. You don't need a $800 toilet. Come to find out, he really didn't. He just needed a good Amazon package to be delivered between 3 and 10 that night if she ordered in the next 2 hours on Amazon. It got there probably between 3 to 10. It usually gets there about 7:30, 8 o'clock. They hooked it up and it works. The fact that he brought that up made Mallory rethink things. Mallory had to end up pushing the conversation that she wanted to have with him. She needed to push it to the forefront. So Mallory is sitting with him and they're having a conversation and she like, look, glad you like your bidet, but we need to talk. A couple of months ago, I was thinking that we need to consider doing a prenup. I wanted to have a conversation with you, but I ain't feel like hearing no arguing or nothing like that. I didn't want you to be uncomfortable, but at this point, we need to talk about a prenup. He don't know what a prenup is. She tell him, what I got before I married you, I keep. What you have before you marry me, you keep. And what we create together, we split. What I own is mine, what you own is yours. And now he heartbroken. That just broke my heart. Really, Rasit? Why? Why? Mallory said it wasn't anything that he had done specifically that made her make this decision. She said what made her really make this decision as she went back over her life and watched when her mom and her dad divorced. I think she said that she was like around 10 years old. And it was hard for them to be separating finances and all that. And so she vowed to herself, I'm not going to go through that. If this is something that I decide to do, I am going to heavily, consider prenup. And I think that prenups are smart, especially when you have someone banking on your money. Because I'm saying, what did he come to the table with? So she pulls out paperwork She sat there and wrote out all the bills, what's coming in and what's going out, for him to consider, to see that this was something that she was doing from a fiscal perspective. We're talking about finances. We're talking about what happens in the next 20 years should we decide that we're not going to be together anymore. This is not about love. This is not about hate. This is about me being fiscally responsible with what I have and what I do with the money that I receive, because I almost lost my life. She shows him the bill. He said, hold on, let me get an ink pen. Wait a minute. Hold on. Um, Let me write an addendum. $125, $150 goes to my parents. They living in a tent. Motherfucker, they was living in a tent before you came. Your brother sat there in front of me and asked me, are you still going to be paying? Your brothers had already asked. So why the fuck am I paying that 125, that 150 to your parents? Why didn't you put that up? Did he come over here with any money? Was he able to even convert a dollar? He coming over here totally on the back of Mallorie. And then you got an issue with her talking about a prenup when you already signed, sealed, and delivered that you're going to be living off of this girl's pain. The thing about car accidents and stuff like that, money don't take away the trauma. And I'm showing you the bill so that you can understand. I'm not trying to withhold anything. I'm trying to let you see how much it costs for me to run this household. And then you going to give me a sheet, right on a sheet of paper, $150 to my parents? Yeah, you can send that to your parents a month. But bitch, that's not coming. You can send that to your parents. It's just not coming out of my pocket. I know you got a obligation. But when it come down to the lights being on, the water coming out the faucets, the gas or oil, whatever you burn, when it comes down to the insurance, when it comes down to the maintenance and all of that stuff that runs a household, and the shed your ass is out there working in, and the land, the taxes that I'm paying for this, and the filings that I'm doing with IRS every year. Motherfucker, don't talk to me about $150 that need to go to your parents who are living in a tent when they was living in a tent before you left. And if you really gave a fly about them living in the tent, you should have stayed. You should have stayed and worked with your brothers to make sure that you could pay into them getting out of a tent. Absolutely, Sugar. Sugar said, plus she works 2 jobs. And he in a makeshift shed in her backyard. Misha J said, and water. What are we doing here? What did you say, boo? Jada Shea said, laughing, oh my God, yes, I think his families are in on it. He thinks he's this hot Turkish man and she's a frumpy chick with a settlement. Wouldn't let him have none of my codes, not a one of them. What you saying, Linda? Linda said all these so-called grown-ups are in la-la land talking about nothing of importance before deciding to get married. It's Mallory's fault too. Absolutely it is, because she probably believed in the love. She was on a vacation, and you get swept away with those vacation loves. But as I always say, the living souvenirs, you leave them there. You leave them there. You come on back home. Come on back home, boo. Come on back home. And if you want to continue a fling with them, see him every year. Write it down. Put it on the calendar. Save your money and go see him every year. But you didn't have to pay for him to get here, because the K1 visa process ain't cheap either. But I bet you he chipped in on that. I bet you he chipped in on that. Pam said, hey, Pam. What you say? Pam said Mallory told him it was all his stuff too, and he believed. She did, because she was like, this your house. Yeah, she was pumping him. You right, Pam. But at the end of the day, she ain't dumb. And I hope that she got a prenup. At this age, if I was ever to get married, and of course, I don't plan on it, y'all, a prenup would be coming out on the second date. It would not even be a question. It's in a trust. We ain't even gonna do it. We're not gonna do it. And frankly, we could just live together. Or we could stay separate and we'll meet up. At this age, I ain't got that to do. Because you work and you save for your children and for your children's children. Not for some fly-by-night romance. And you know what? I probably could be deeply in love. But we not doing it. And if I would expect a man that I date at this age to be in agreements and have his own paperwork wrote up for my ass. Because I wonder whether or not Shea, with all of the real estate that he owns, is doing one for Anabelle. I don't think that prenups is bad, especially when you have children. To allow somebody to come in at the last minute, swoop your heart up, and dump your kid. I can't even imagine it. Can't even imagine it. But when you get older and wiser and you have assets, you realize, oh, I need to protect these. I need to get me a prenup. Because at the end of the day, marriages have a financial component to them. And I don't care what nobody say. There is a financial component to marriage. Everything ain't getting in the bed and having somebody booed up to go to the movie and the concert with. It's about finances as well. And I just ain't got it to do. And I hope that if he thinks she's just an old, fat, frumpy white girl, that she proves to him that he's wrong. And I think that she is seeing the forest from the trees, that I need to protect my assets. I don't know any married couple. I'm talking about the married couples I know who do not handle their finances with each other. There is a financial component to marriages. Because if you coming in there and you broke and you ain't got nothing and you just sucking me dry, eventually I'm going to be tired of it. I have been there, done that. Every time I turn around, you getting a new job. I ain't got this to do. As much as I care for you, we ain't going to be able to do this no more. And it wasn't just talk out of my mouth. It was action. We're not going to do this no more. I have stability and I expect you to too. And if you don't, we only equally yoked. And the Bible says that we shouldn't be unequally yoked. And if your finances ain't together, and I ain't saying he gotta be rich. I'm saying have your finances together. If your finances ain't together, then we are equally yoked. We don't have nothing in common. Because when I want to go to a 5-star resort and hotel and all of that, and you still want us to be living off McDonald money, it's not going to work. Because I should be able to have the desires of my heart. And I shouldn't have to be struggling with it. Period. So I hope Mallorie did what she had to do. Anyway, y'all, I'm going to get on up out of here. Thank you to all of the 877 people who are here in this chat. I love you all. And yeah, y'all let me know what y'all think downtown in the comments section. Welcome to the replay crew. Hopefully you'll be able to join us in another episode live. We love y'all. And until we meet again, y'all be safe out there in those streets and in the water. Bye, y'all.